Hello, good evening, and welcome. I think that's someone's catchphrase, but I don't know who. Hello, good evening, and welcome. I think that's a catchphrase. Thanks, Moog. Sound and video works.
Yeah, I can hear you and see you. Never gets old.
That gets old.
Doesn't.
That gets old.
Don't start by being mean.
Well, that's how I finish. So why shouldn't I start the same
And in the middle as well.
Yes. It's what I do. Hello, everyone. Hello. My brain's a bit squishy at the moment. What do I normally do? What do I say?
You say, hello, so this week.
Okay, hello. So this week, thank God it worked. So this week, what are we talking about this week? Well, not a huge amount of this weeky talkiness. Going to talk a little bit about the Crimson Ribbon, but I know that that's not relevant to everyone, so not going to talk. My eyes are hurting. It's dark in here. Need to make it lighter. That's better. I can see me. Oh, God, I can see me.
Oh, I didn't know you were here.
Yes, well, you could hear me. And you said you could see me as well. So were you fibbing?
No, I can hear you and see you.
You didn't know I was here?
Okay.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, we'll talk a bit about the Crimson Ribbon. Talk a bit about what I've been doing hobby-wise, because I have been doing some stuff hobby-wise. Hobby-wise. I thought it might be germane to talk a little bit about this book.
Who's Jermaine?
That's the name of that guy. That guy there. His name's Jermaine.
Is it?
Yeah.
Nice.
That is now, anyway. We've also got some questions on Discord from that folks put up last week because I wasn't here. Yeah. So that's the thing. That's the thing. Brain's not very good at the moment. Trying.
Crimson Ribbon was fab.
So yes. Crimson Ribbon. Oh, we have so Aaron 582 is member for 13 months. Just dropped my Land Raider Phobos and the right side just exploded. Oh man. Oh. That gets you right in the feels. So the Crimson Ribbon, yes. So we had our what have we done? Our narrative event, our 2-day event, tabletop events, the weekend before last. Super chat from Mick the Machine.
Mick.
Thank you, Mick.
Thanks, Mick.
Good to see you guys back live and streaming. Also, shameless plug for Paul Fest 3 in October.
I can't wait, Mick. I'm super excited. Love an event.
Paul Fest 3, something about silly hats. I'm not quite sure what. I think silly hats optional.
We're going for silly hats.
Are you?
We are.
Are you? That's interesting.
We are.
Good to hear that you are.
We've got to. You love a silly hat. He does really.
We shall see.
Yes, we
will. Silly hats are optional. Thank you, Mick. Lederhosen is optional. Yes.
Hi to Australia.
Hello, Australia.
Australia.
Hello. Goodness me, it must be late. Or early.
Early.
Late or... Yeah, it must be the morning. Must be the morning. So yes, we did the Crimson Ribbon event, which was we had 5 games over 2 days. It was super exciting. There were lots of shenanigans, lots of heroic moments, lots of unheroic moments. We have a super chat from Niall Walsh. For AOS, what would you recommend for a magic heavy narrative army? Magic heavy, I guess. Disciples of Tzeentch is always a good one. Many of the armies can be made magic heavy. Many of them with battle wizards for Cities of Sigmar. Stormcast Eternals have access to a few different wizardy types. Oryx have got 3 or 4 different ones. You could go magic heavy on any army as such, but the Disciples of Tzeentch ooze magic. Looking at some of their things, I mean, there's one guy who can whose spell is to learn the spell of another wizard on the other side of the table, and has got a thing that lets, if he unbinds a wizard's spell, that he can then cast it on someone else nearby. And I imagine they're getting a new book soon, because GW are putting out a box with Disciples of Tzeentch and what are they called? The High Elf ones, Lumineth Realm Lords. So I imagine they're 2 of the next battle tomes coming up. So yeah, I'd be inclined to go that.
Oh, there's Gracie.
Hello.
Hello, Gracie.
So yes, lots of very cool moments at Crimson Ribbon. So
it was fabulous.
Each general had to pick basically a personality type, and they got little submissions based on what they were trying to achieve. The ones that I have to say that were most fun for me were 2 of the Imperial Guard ones. One was career progression, and the other was self-preservation. So you had the self-preservation ones going things like, do not leave your deployment zone. It's like, nope, I'm standing right here. I found a rock. I'm going to stand behind a rock. My men can go that way. Or spend the entire game with 10 guardsmen in between you and the enemy. Things like that. But then you had, but you must make it look like you're trying. Complete a charge, but survive. So you've got guard commanders with 2 wounds and no abilities. Go, dink. And then running off. Yeah, lots of fun. You did filming on the day, didn't you?
I did. I've got the filming. Yeah, I've got all that for you when you're ready.
So we're gonna. There's going to be a vlog, isn't there, that we're going to put out?
There's going to be a vlog. I did filming and also some stills as well of people, and everybody just looks incredibly happy. So it was really nice to do. And everybody, although they were all really busy and, playing, I've got time to say hello, which were great. So I have done that, and I will give that to you.
Excellent. So we'll get that out as soon as we can, so that people can see that. Which is nice. Anything else really Crimson Ribbon wise? Anything stand out? I feel like my brain's been smashed out with a slice of lemon wrapped around a large gold brick.
No, it was a really good weekend. Everybody was absolutely shattered. Absolutely shattered. Yes, Scott, we could talk about the result. Everybody was shattered, and everybody was sort of going to the car park like dragging the feet and stuff. But it was really good, and everybody looked great, and the merchandise looked really good as well.
Did you film the result in the hobby vlog?
I filmed. Thanks, Scott. It was It was Glory to Chaos. The Chaos guys were fantastic. They were all so lovely and helped me a lot.
So hobby vlog, video diary incoming.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely got that. I did film I filmed and took lots of pictures of the winners as they were finishing, and got little like clips of what they were saying and things. So I'll pop them on there as well.
Awesome. So what else, hobby wise? So since then, what have I been doing? Well, my brain got onto what could I maybe do differently next time if I was going to do another one. And so I had about what normally happens after a big day is my brain is mad on it for like another day, and I'm like, ideas. Whenever I come back from a role play session, I'm normally trying to write new characters the next day, and then my brain goes, and relax. Oh, Thunderbolter has super chatted, says, have a cola. Thank you very much. Coke sponsorship. Still no sponsorship deal. Who'd have thunk it?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much, sir. Much appreciated. So what have I done since then? Well, I bought some new shelves. Haven't put them up yet, but I've bought some shelves. Was running out of capacity in the studio, so I need to turn another wall into shelf space, because I managed to so one of the things I did was looked at some of my old Warhammer Fantasy Battle armies and decide to convert those to AOS. I did a little while ago, and this was on the hobby vlogs. I think they're members only hobby vlogs at the moment, because my brain is on a go slow at the moment. I'm making sure that the content I produce goes to paying members first and foremost, which is why there's been less on the public YouTubes recently. So hopefully that will start to get a bit better. Yeah, so recently people may have seen my my Skaven rebasing. I got the urge to rebase all of my my old Empire army. I say all of it. It was only about 500 points at the time, which is about 500 points now. So I've rebased that for round bases. And then I decided to do my Ogre Kingdoms as well. Now, the ones that I have left as Fantasy Battle are my Dark Elves, because they're old. I've got the old Cauldron of Blood and the old Hydra and all the old stuff. So I thought, wow, they're not really an army in Age of Sigmar, and I do have the occasional Fantasy Battle game, so let's leave those as is. And also my old vampire counts, because they don't translate very well directly to Soulblight Gravelords. I mean, they kind of do, but they're just not the variety of the vampires or the types of vampires. And the aesthetic of a lot of the models just doesn't translate. So I thought, yeah, let's leave those to Fantasy Battle. I might nick the occasional model. Like I got a half-assembled corpse card, and I thought, yeah, that could jump over. So I left those, but then I also decided to do my my Ogre Kingdoms to Ogre Moor Tribes, which turns out to be about 4,000 points of Ogre Moor Tribes. I think I got about 40 ogres. And I basically had like one unit of everything from the old codex, from the old army book, with the exception of man-eaters, because I just didn't like the aesthetic. So I've switched those over. Although I have gone, they're the subject of one of my next hobby vlog, which I'm working on at the minute. They were on snow bases, and I'm not as keen on the snowless aesthetic of how they're based now. But it will work better with more of my battle mats, and I think snow will look odd on sort of arid or heavily forested areas that aren't sort of like snow decor. So for that reason, I'm leaving them at the moment unless I get particularly about it. So they have been done. I also decided I was going to assemble all of my other Cities of Sigmar stuff. I've also bought a couple of new bits as well as assembling things that I've got. And so, oh man, they are old kits. Instructions that basically say legs, torso, head, arm, weapon, glue. It's like, wow, okay. So I've been assembling those because I've reached the conclusion, having listened to as many of the AOS audio books as I can. There's only a few now I haven't listened to, most of which are Lumineth ones because they do not appeal. I started to listen to the one about the Idoneth Deepkin. Do you know what? After about an hour and a half, I gave up on that one. That just did not grab me at all. But I digress. But in the vast majority of all the books, by far the most common army that fight for humankind are Cities of Sigmar in one shape or other. They're like the Imperial Guard are in 40k. So I am thinking I need to have a decent free guild army to be able to do narratives. I'm also acutely aware that GW have said they're going to refresh the range towards the end of the year. So I'm like, am I doing these things for nothing? But what I imagine is going to happen is well, this is maybe an imagination or a wish list, I don't know. But in all the books, they differentiate between the Azurites and the Reclaimed. So the Reclaimed are people who lived in the 7 of the mortal realms that were subject to the rule of chaos and managed to survive. And they're normally quite brutal, quite primitive or superstitious. Then they have the Azurites who have settled from Azir. And the armies tend to have combinations of the two. So I imagine / hope that when they do Cities of Sigmar, they'll have an Azurite line and a Reclaimed line, which will have variations for different realms, maybe different heads or some different trinkets to glue on to different bits to represent, Reclaimed from Gur or Shaiish or Akshi. I don't sort of quite how they do that, but I'm kind of assuming they will. Maybe they won't. And I'm sort of thinking, well, if they do that, then the free guild that I'm putting together now can sort of be Azurites. And then what they do later, I can sort of have them as being Reclaimed. I'm hoping they won't be too starkly different. That said, I remember thinking when they were refreshing the Dark Eldar range back in 2008 or whatever it was, thinking, my third ed Dark Eldar will look all right next to them. And they came out and I'm like, these are trash. Away they go. Away they go. In the bin. So hopefully they will be similar enough to not be instantly thrown in the bin. But we shall see. I've also been doing some interesting looking at some of the other units. Do you need help with that? One moment. I have another job. She was struggling gallantly, but has got talons that prevent the opening of cans. So there are two things that I have got. Well, there are three things, but there are three models I have got. From my old fantasy battle days for the old Empire range, which aren't available now in the Cities of Sigmar. One is a great cannon / mortar, and I'm like, I want to use that. And I toyed with the idea of building the mortar and having it count as a rocket battery. I could do that, but the great cannon is part of the Legends range. I thought, I use the Legends, and I can I'll print out the Legend card and laminate it because I got a laminator for Crimson Ribbon. And I'm a dab hand with a lamination, and use that as the sort of little card. I thought, I can do this. So it's on the app. I'm like, right, okay. There must be a download somewhere for the Legends. So googly, and the Legends download is an older version. If you actually go on the GW community website for Legends, the PDF download is, I think it's at least one edition older than what's in the app. And what's in the app aren't other things. So I can't actually download the War Scroll printout. The only thing I've got is the information from the app, which is weird. I would have expected them for it to be up to date. Maybe I just can't find it. Maybe they're stored in a different place. Maybe I don't know. But yeah, so that's one of them. But I can transcribe the information from the app into a little handy card for me, so I can go, yes, I'm using this. I don't care if the stats are rubbish. It's a cannon. I'm going to light the fuse and go boom and have the ball bounce through the ranks. Well, just do X number of wounds, which is nice. The other two I've got, one is a hero with a standard bearer. I'm like, okay, standard bearer an army standard bearer isn't a thing in AOS anymore. But I thought maybe what I could do is just use that as a free guild general. And it's a reason for having two free guild generals. One can be the actual general of the army. The free guild general can be the general. And the free guild general with the standard could just be a free guild general who he's got an aura of something or other that he can give out, and he can issue orders. And I thought that could kind of work. That's a reason to have two of them and them to look different. I thought, yeah, okay, that can work. The other is a Priest of Sigmar. There is no Priest of Sigmar in the Cities of Sigmar book, and I'm like, WTF? Where did that go? But there is a Priest of Sigmar in the Legends. And the standard prayers are halfway decent. So, yeah, I can do the same thing. I can make myself a little card for that and use the Legends. I am hoping there will be a Priest of Sigmar in the new Cities of Sigmar. And I don't think it's too much of a stretch to imagine one of them would have a Warhammer. So I can use the same model, I think, and it will be all right. That's what I think. Hobby stuff. Other than that, I'm on my next mini project at the moment, and that's for the Thondia campaign that we're going to be filming in a few weeks' time. I'm going to talk about that a lot probably because my hobby over the next few weeks will be focused on that. I've got to get some Astral Templars done. Some specific units for a specific War Scroll battalion, and potentially some Cities of Sigmar, and the Kronspine Incarnate, which is a sort of amber dragon bone thing, which I started painting last night by liberally applying contrast to it. To try and make it look all glowy and ambery, so sort of yellows with oranges on top. So yeah, that's. I think that's everything. Hobby-wise, I've forgotten anything.
We ended we played a game, didn't we?
Well, that didn't happen, did it?
Well, I thought I just learned a bit more ready for filming, but no, that didn't happen. If you don't want it to happen, we didn't film it, but we did a little bit more, didn't we?
Yes, we did. So we did some practice for Crimson Learns Age of Sigmar, and we have another session coming up on this weekend from the next episode,
Sunday.
And we've got a guest
We've
star.
got a guest. We've got a guest.
We've got a guest star to be Crimson's coach.
Yeah, I'm having a coach, my own coach.
So yeah, so that's going to be good. So yes. So let us go to Discordia and talk about the questions.
The last live stream we put it in there, didn't we? If anybody had got anything they wanted us to talk about or you to talk about on there, any questions you got?
So yes. So let's have a look at these, and yeah, those. So from Tom, you'll have to forgive me because I haven't been able to attend the ramble in ages. But have we had a ramble on how Paul paints /hobbies? Don't tend to ramble about painting. I tend to do that more in hobby vlogs because it tends to involve actually sort of showing bits on the model and pointing and going, well, I think I want to do this bit this way and I want to sort of do that bit that way. But as a general principle, from a painting perspective, I tend to... I have a bit of a paradox, to be quite honest, because my ethos is it's got to look good at arm's length, because this isn't a work of art I'm going to put on a shelf and admire close up of an evening. It's something I'm going to put on the table and look at a distance in the context of lots of other little models and scenery and so on. So I'm a big advocate of it's just got to look good from arm's length. That said, because I film mine and put them on the YouTubes and take pictures of them, some of the models also get seen close up. So I've got to kind of make sure they look good enough to withstand a freeze frame or something of that nature. What I tend to do is I tend to use techniques where I can put inks and shades over colors to sort of produce that 3D effect with a dry brush, because I don't really have the patience or the technique for layering. I can do it, but I run out of steam very quickly, and I don't quite have the hand-eye coordination to do the very, very neat lines and very neat edging. The best I can sort of do is the sort of hard lining, where if this was the brush, sort of running it along the edge of the model just to get that highlight. When I'm actually painting it, I sort of go all over the place, and it's that I tend to spend more time tidying up and end up with a very wavy, very obvious line rather than a subtle highlight.
But we have said that might be something that we look at if we can get the angle of the camera right, both in painting and stuff. Haven't we? We spoke about that on a...
What are we talking about?
When we talked about doing this on a Tuesday, but having a painting one, didn't we?
Yes, we've talked about sort of chatting and painting.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I tend to do is I tend to reserve any highlighting for the face of the model, the head of the model, or anything that's particularly prominent that draws the eye. So it pops out, and then the rest of the model sort of fades into the background a little bit. So that's my general approach to painting and hobbying. I like doing it with some background noise, normally something like a film or an audio book, something I'm familiar with. If it's a film, it's going to be something I'm familiar with, so I just keep looking up and I can just listen to it and occasionally look up for the good bits, or an audio book, so I can just get lost in it. And because what I do is I'll work out the technique and what I actually have to do, and then it's just a case of doing it. So I do all the thinking in one go. It's like, right, this is my method. Here are my paints. They're all lined up. I know what I need to do in what colour. I'm now doing a batch. And I'll sit there happy as Larry for 4, 5, 6, 10 hours, obviously with tiny breaks, to just plough through. And
it works for Moog on Tuesdays. What day does he? What days? Moog paints, doesn't it?
Are you having conversation and that I'm not reading and then asking me questions about it?
No, I thought you were talking about painting. I was just saying Moog paints on his live stream, doesn't he?
Yes,
and
he
it
does.
Works for Moog.
So I wasn't talking about painting streaming. I was talking.
Oh, I was sorry. Yeah, sorry. I was focused more on Moog then. Sorry. I was being Moog's little helper then.
So what's the question?
There isn't one.
Okay.
I'll give you my full attention now, boss.
You don't have to. It's like a what we're talking about.
I've got some questions as well, by the way, when you're ready.
All right. Well, I think that mostly answers Tom's question. Go on, hit me with some questions.
Sorry, Tom. Owen has asked. I mean, a lot of people have answered him since this, but I feel like I need to say hello to Owen, who's in Hungary. Any tips on stripping paint off new Chaos Space Marines? I've just made a right big zero of my new Death Guard. Well, you have got a tip of stripping paint, haven't you? Because you nearly killed us with that once, didn't you? What was it? Was it Dettol? So
there are lots of techniques you can use for stripping paint. The best one for stripping that I've found for stripping off metal is a paint stripper called Nitromorse, but that'll dissolve your fingers, so you've got to be really careful with it. But it really gets the paint off them. And I put them in a sealed jar and I just shake it periodically. And after a few days, the paint's just goo, and you can just rinse it off the metal minis.
Fumes. It is very fumey.
No, I haven't used Nitromorse for a very, very long time.
What was it that you used that was?
So it was Dettol. I don't use Dettol when I can avoid it. Dettol's quite interesting because it does strip the paint off plastic and doesn't melt the plastic, but it explicitly says on it, keep away from cats. Not animals, not pets, cats. So yeah, it needs to be kept away from the cats. But it stinks. It stinks the house out for such a very, very long time. And the other peculiar thing with it is it turns to sticky goo in contact with water. So you've got to rinse it off with more Dettol to get all the paint off, and then you can wash it with water. If you wash it with paint whilst there's still paint on it, it becomes horrific and you've got to start again. So yeah, it's effective, but it's a pain in the backside. The best one that I've found for stripping off plastic is BioStrip 20. It's amazing. The only problem with it is, it won't strip resin. It'll turn resin into a puddle. So don't be putting your £100 Forge World model in BioStrip. It destroys it. For resin, I still find the only thing I have to use is Dettol. But word to the wise, if you leave a resin model in Dettol for about 6 months, it goes all wibbly wobbly and bending and see-through. So you don't want to be doing that. Am I questioning on there, or am I doing one on Discord?
There's just one more from Mick. He'd like a game against Joe Skaven. I said we should set that up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That can happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to Discordia. Immortan Joe asks, this might be a daft question, but ... What is the point in playing narrative 40k /AOS? What's the point in playing narrative Warhammer? Well, for me, it's a little bit like saying, what's the point in reading a book or watching a film? When I get immersed in a film, I don't think, what's Bruce Willis going to do next? I think, what's John McClane going to do next? Equally, when I'm reading a book, I think, what's the Lady of Vines going to do? Not what, I can't remember who wrote that book. Not what's Dan Abnett going to do with the story. And that it's a similar thing for narrative gaming for me. I think the equivalent, when on the occasions, the very rare occasions, I play chess, I don't think this is a knight defending his queen. I think this is a playing piece in the game. There's no story I think of when I'm playing chess, or when I'm playing drafts or cards or Ludo or anything of that nature. They've got no story that goes with them. I don't immerse myself. I think, how can I win this game using the rules? Narrative play of Warhammer is the same for me. I don't see the game as a I don't see the game as pieces on a board. I mean, obviously, you have to see them like that to a certain extent. But when I'm playing, I don't think, how can I use these Space Marines to win the game? I think, how will the captain attempt to defeat the orcs? I think, what will that sergeant order his unit to do next? I think, what's the best way? I sort of think it's what would the miniature do, and that way you become much more immersed in the game, and it's more like a book. It's more like a film. It's not playing chess or drafts or Ludo or cards. That's the point for me. And that's why when you've fought with your big mob of orc knobs and you compile in, but it so happens that you're going to engage a Space Marine captain who'll kill 3 of them, you're like, bothered. That's the sort of, it's the cinema moment. The orc knobs don't stand there and think, no, hang on, lads, hang on, wait, there's not looking, get him. They plow on. And that's where, in sort of film land, you would see the captain cutting down one, cutting down another, then getting jumped on by the others. That's because they consolidated in the direct, doing what orcs do. And a bunch of them died. Yeah? And it's glorious. Super chat from Owen Harmon. Thank you, Owen. All about the narrative. Absolutely. The narrative. Yeah, all about the narrative. You don't lose if you play the narrative. Because you're not attempting to win the game as such. You're attempting to play it out and enjoy the playing it out. Whether it's berserkers who just want to take heads, or Slanesh cultists who just want to diddle things, or orcs who just want to have a fight. You're winning because you're doing. Because I don't know. Stop talking now. Any more? Should I? Which way should I go? Discord. Hill asks, veteran of the long wait, can you, Paul, explain why Chaos is better than the Imperium? Well, I can give you the Chaos why it's better than the Imperium. It's honest. The Imperium are venerating a man who sold his people down the river in his attempt to ascend to godhood, and the fools, the dupes who followed him, deserve everything they get. That's the Chaos view. Yeah, I'll see you guessing on that, I think. Oh, Kevin, member for 21 months. What will you be doing next month to celebrate 2 years of the channel? Now, that is an interesting question. It will entirely depend on my state of mind. It may be this one passes by without too much remark. This one passes by quietly. I did have a notion for kind of what I wanted to do, but I don't want to say in case I don't do it, because it was a cool idea, but I might not have the bus fare to make it happen. So I don't know yet. It's a simple answer. Okay, so Hamelot Loyal Guardsman asked, before the advent of Say Hi Paul YouTube channel, would you be willing to use non-40k/AOS models, GW or other, in your army that would better fit the narrative of the army you were telling, or would you stick strictly to the product line that GW had set out for that faction? Sorry, cat hair.
Yeah, we're all suffering.
She's flopped down in front of me, and yeah. All right, I'll stop playing with her. She's very cute. It's very hard not to. I stick pretty rigidly to the GW product line. It's the same reason, I think, why that I tend to use predetermined chapters and craft worlds and clans and all these things. I like to have boundaries to work within. I don't like to freewheel it. When I freewheel it, I feel like I'm unrestrained and I don't have anything to anchor me to a story, to a direction. That's why I do things the way I do. I like to go, right, what are these? What do they do? How do they operate? And then identify what they do, and then I can play that. I can build that, and I can play that. Where it's where I'm not constrained that I tend to struggle quite a bit. And it's the same with the model range. The only model that I can think of that I've got that is not in the GW range is a model that I use for an Ogre Tyrant, which I was bought as a present. I think it's something like Hordes or War Master or something like that. And I built it and I painted it, and it feels really wrong to use it. It looks fine, it looks the part, but it feels wrong. So I don't very often. That's the only one. Okay, so Cadfile Relic Hunter asks, how would Paul bring the magic back to 40k? It's interesting because I don't know. I know what I would do to change the system. And that is around making it more, changing some of the core mechanics and differentiating more between different styles of play so that all the match play restrictions just affect competitive play. And I would I would make the books and the rules more consumable in the same way. So that things like a strategy of having like a one-line general description at the top saying, yeah, use this to give units rerolls to hit, and then the 3,000-word essay underneath it about how exactly they want you to do that. So I know what I would do kind of rules-wise, and better missions that aren't all about hold one, hold two, hold this, hold the other. But the magic back into 40k. I feel pretty flattened from 40k at the minute. I don't know that just tweaking those rules, I don't know how much that would help. That is possibly because brain's not being great at the minute. I've been back to the doctor because, as well as the anxiety, I'm starting to lose interest in a lot of things, which I know is not good. That's why I've been back to the doctor, and I'm getting some support there. So I'm fairly down on 40k at the moment, but that might be a symptom of wider issues. So I'm not really sure, to be quite honest. I feel like the magic's gone and it's not coming back. We'll see. We'll see what happens when my brain gets a bit healthier. Make the Machine asks, will there be a Christmas calendar? When you say calendar...
Oh, come on. Is that like a Calendar Boys thing?
Huh.
I could photograph that. I'm up for that. Just so you know. Just putting it out there.
If the community want to do a community calendar, be my guest. I know Deployment Zone did that once with pictures from different members, and someone coordinated because there are companies that do that sort of thing. They'll put your image here and we'll do what are they even called?
Is that what you call it now?
I think I even did a calendar for someone as a present one year, going back a while now. You can sort of upload your picture to this and that and the other.
That's too much information, I think.
So it's not something I'm going to be doing. So Grandilio, member for 22 months. Love you, Paul. Hope you find the magic psychic powers again soon. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Okay, so Pixel Reaper asks, what did you learn from putting on the Crimson Ribbon campaign, and what advice would you give me for running the Planet Killer campaign? I learned a couple of things from the Crimson Ribbon. Narrative and fun are the two most important things, but I didn't make a conscious choice of which way around to put those. But looking back, I think I had the narrative slightly higher up the order than fun. And there were a couple of instances where what was really cool, narratively speaking, probably didn't make for the most fun game in some instances for some people. I don't think that was a thing that was totally true across the board, but it certainly happened in a couple of cases. What I want to make sure I do for my next one, should there be another one, is that I make sure that fun is higher up than the narrative. So I in order to facilitate the narrative, I won't compromise on the fun. There are always things with any event, and whether it's work related, whether it's a role play session, whatever it is. And this is actually the thing I really like is you have all these ideas. You don't know what's going to work. You know some of it will, and some of it won't. But you don't know what until you do it. So yeah. The thing you most need is whatever you do has to be flexible enough to account for the fact that for lots of very good reasons, people will be unavailable at short notice. There will always be people who drop out. And if you've got some kind of rigid matching system going on, that's going to be a problem. People can even be ill on the day, as we all discovered. Poor Commander A was very poorly on the day, as was Bella Bramble. So there's just no accounting for that. So make sure whatever you're doing is flexible enough. And yeah, there you go. Tom asked, this is the last one on Discordia. Asks, are there any AOS armies you can't see yourself collecting? There are models I can't see myself having, and they do relate to certain armies. I struggle with the Ardeneth Deepkin. Some of the narrative's okay. Some of the narrative's okay. And I could maybe see myself doing a small force of some of the ones I don't consider quite so silly. I think Sharknado elves are just, okay. I get that there's the magical ether tide that they all fly in on, and I like the game mechanic with the tide ebbing, but I just can't. I find it really difficult to have sort of flying sharks over the land in AOS. I struggle with that. I also, with Lumineth Realm Lords, I struggle with cow elves. The aesthetic just does nothing for me. So I can't. But there are some units I quite like. Some of the horse riders, some of the cavalry, some of the archers. There are some units that I think are really good, but I would probably be selective in what I eventually collect in those forces. Excuse me. I'm just mentally going through order, death, destruction. There isn't a force in death I wouldn't have. There isn't a force in destruction that I wouldn't have. chaos. Whilst different ones have different levels of appeal, there's no chaos faction I just wouldn't have. Yeah, I think it comes down to Ideneth Deepkin and Lumineth Realm Lords selectively. Okay, Discord has dried up and I am hiccuping.
Vanguard Wargaming says, real question, beard care routine. Also, I noticed we have the same abnormality with beard growth, the bald patch between lips and chin.
This thing. It will not grow. Look at it. I've been concentrating on it every night for 20 years. No.
What are you doing now? You're having a poo.
It's intense beard growing.
Oh, is that how you do it?
Yeah.
It's not working.
No, I know. It's on strike. My beard care routine. So I wash my beard every day with Head and Shoulders. There you go. That's my beard care routine. And the reason it's wavy at the sides is because of my obstructive sleep apnea. Every night I have a mask over my face which has a strap that goes across here. Because it tucks it in like that every night, it grows down all wavy like. You can see it's wavy like on both sides. So if you want to get that kind of thing, you've got to tie your face up overnight, every night.
We have put some. I bought you for Christmas, didn't I? Some of the Viking beads for your beard.
Oh, I like those.
They're fab. They look great on you. In fact, we should do that next week. We should put your Viking beads in.
Cool.
It does look very cool. Very Vikingly like.
Also, I do like the beard oils. The only problem is I'm allergic to most of them. Most scents make me sneeze.
Smell amazing.
They smell amazing, and
brilliant.
I cannot stop sneezing. Yeah, sneeze and sneeze and sneeze and sneeze and sneeze and sneeze. I mean, the deodorant I wear is simply the one I'm least allergic to that I haven't changed in 30 years.
That's a brilliant idea, Joe. Viking beads.
For Porfest 3 and an appropriate hat.
Oh, you're sorted.
I'll happily wear a normal hat, just not a silly hat.
All you need is one person to tell you look silly in it. Then it becomes silly. You put it on, I'll tell you it's silly.
No, you won't. Please don't.
Okay.
What I meant to say was please don't.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Not at all aggressive.
No.
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 Right, okay.
Oh, I can't stop hiccuping.
So Joe says, from what you learned at Crimson Ribbon, would you have a distinct difference between events you run and campaigns you do at home?
Yes, they're two totally different things.
Why?
I'm trying to. I know why in my head. I'm trying to think why. Every time I get halfway down the train of thought, I hiccup.
Bushy's good, Kev. Bushy would be good with the beads in. So if you grew it and it was bushy, I could put you some beads in.
Pardon?
Kev's just saying that he can grow it, but it becomes bushy.
Ah.
A big bushy beard.
So the reason channel campaigns are different is because you could tailor every single element of that campaign from game to game, and you can tell a really detailed story. When you're doing an event, you are getting people you're getting other people to try and get their head around the story you're trying to tell and to sort of play their part in that story. And you would either have to You're laughing at my hiccups.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Oh.
Oh.
And you either have to spend a lot of time briefing people individually in order to get them to understand what you're trying to do in a particular game. And then, depending on the results, sometimes what you play next in a studio campaign is very different. When you're doing an event, a lot of it has to be in some way predetermined, where you say, okay, this happens here, then either this is going to happen or that's going to happen, and you have to be prepped and ready for each one. So it can't be as sophisticated as the sort of completely open book. Right, this has happened.
I'm trying to stop your hiccups. Did it work?
No.
Right, okay, so the other way to stop your hiccups, this is a really good tip. Another way to stop...
Scared
it's real. No, it's real. Put your fingers in your ears and drink your drink through a straw. Stops them straight away. So you know.
I don't have a straw.
I tried, Kev. Didn't work.
Yes, as soon as you have...
They can't see me. They don't know what you're laughing at.
I'll turn the camera around in a minute.
Don't. I'm not dressed.
What she means is just put your arm, just illustrate that you're wearing clothes. Right, thank you.
It's just a shirt. It's nothing else. I thought that might shock you with the hiccups.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe it has. I guess we'll find out in a minute. Lol.
You're sorry today. You are having it after this, let me tell you.
Of course I am. I'm awake.
Sarky.
Yeah, I'm in trouble. Apparently, the way to get rid of hiccups is to read the 16-digit number on the front and the 3-digit number on the back out loud. Well, that's an idea.
Go on then.
Tell you what, Joe, you type yours in and then I'll read it out.
No, it's got to be your own.
Oh.
It's got to be your own.
Wallet's downstairs.
I know it.
Any more on the pad?
Oh yes. A serious question.
Okay.
Aaron says, "Is 70-word bearer legionnaires too many or not enough?"
Depends on the size of your game. Depends on whether you're looking at building a legion or a. I mean, it's almost a company strength, so it's almost sort of like one cruiser's worth. I don't mean cruiser. I don't know the class, the ship class from the Heresy. But the thing with word bearers though is they still organize as a legion. So I'm going to go with not enough. Word bearers, Death Guard, still organized very much as a legion. So you can expect hundreds of legionaries from the word bearers. Not enough. But if you're playing like a 1,500 point game, you're not going to get any more than that on the table. So plenty. I think there's an aeroplane about to be stuck in my beard. I can see one being formed in my peripheral vision. Oh, sigh. Any more questions?
Word bearers are also in chapters.
They are. That's it. Yeah. to subdivision of legions. The point I was getting at was that that literally skimmed my nose.
Sorry. Oh, I won't tell you what it's just skimmed.
Without even looking. A lot of the other legions operate in small war bands based on what's still around and what's still alive, and they're sort of warring with each other. The word bearers, you can expect them to be in large coordinated war hosts, is the point I was making. The point I was aiming for. She's drawing on me. I mean, I'm wearing sleeve armor, and she's still finding somewhere to draw.
I think word bearer chapters are called war hosts now.
Wouldn't surprise me. Are you doing more?
No, I'm just throwing this away.
She calls,
Any more on Discord?
She calls me Saki. Not that I can see. I think we are discorded out. I don't think I'm going to go through the Chaos Space Marine book tonight because I think we are ramping down. I can save some random chatter about that for another time.
Can we just clarify Paul Fest 3 then? What's the hat thing? Mick, what's the hat thing? I don't want to miss anything. I've got a fabulous Easter hat.
I think somewhere on Discord, someone suggested that Paul Fest 3 should be silly hats optional.
Oh, optional.
For Paul Fest 3.
No, because people won't do it. Make them do it, Mick. Make them.
Well, people won't. The thing is, people won't come if they have to do a silly hat. I'd rather people came.
Oh, no, they're optional. Mick says, Mick's the boss.
Yeah.
Optional.
Because the Paul Fest is very much Mick's thing.
Yeah.
I simply turn up. That really hurt. It went right down my ear canal.
Stop bleeding. It didn't go right down your ear canal. It was too fat. Oh, your lobster. I loved that, Mick. That is funny. It's fabulous. We all should have lobster hats.
Well, that note.
Okay, so thank yous. Grandilo, Aaron, Moog, and Kevin all used their membership chats. Aaron was 13 months, Grandilo 22 months, Moog and Kevin 21 months. And hello to Australia and Hungary who are tuned in tonight. That's amazing. That's really good. I'm thinking Keith's still with us and Owen's still with us from Hungary. And the thank yous are there.
So, thank you for super chatting to Mint the Machine, Niall Walsh, Thunderbolter, and Owen. Is there another one?
I know of. You can have it. You always do this.
No, so you are right.
Then you have a look, and then you go, "Yes, you are right."
I am assuming you are correct. You always are. Big thank you to Crimson, as ever, for her support and the heckling and the beard impalement and temporary tattoos. Thank you to everyone who's a channel member for your ongoing support. You guys are awesome.
Are you doing the book next week?
Maybe I don't want to commit to it because it's out now. It's been out for ages. It's been out for a little while. People have got their hands on it, so it's not an urgent thing. But I think it's one to go about at some point.
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly when. So thank you for tuning in, everyone, and I hope you all have a good week, and we will see you in the next one. Say bye, Crimson.
Bye, Crimson.
Bye.